Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Kerbal Space Program. So, last episode I just quit as it was trying to, as we had a rocket flying into another um, part that we had detached in the hope that we could rendezvous these two vessels. Um, and nope, it did not work at all. So this is a significant prestige quest that we cannot decline. We need to get it done. But we're not going to get it done right now. We're going to try and do the TRV-2, the Thud, the Terrier, and science from outside Kerbal. So we can do one of those right now. Unfortunately, I have accidentally accepted, or I think I accepted, maybe I didn't accept it, a scenario where somebody needs to be rescued. Or I thought I did. Maybe the game was just bugging out. Or maybe it was showing me that stuff because I could have accepted it, but since I declined. So this is easy enough to do. This quest. All we have to do is basically do one orbit around the Kerbal so we have enough power to send the temperature data yet again. Farming this quest. We love this quest more than any of the other quests. That gets us hopefully a few more dollars. Can we upgrade? Yes, we can. So let's see. What is that first word? Unmanned object tracking would be the next upgrade, but now it looks like we can do some more things. We've upgraded our satellite. Temperature scans, we don't want that. Position of satellite, we don't want that. Atmosphere scans on Kerbal at specific places, no. No. Hydraulic detachment module. I don't think I even have that. Satellite, specific orbit, rescue someone, no. So when you have a rescue thing, and you click here, it must have been bugged. It was showing me a second red ring, and that didn't make a lot of sense. Could also be that we failed that quest. Temperature scans of the moon, satellites, send data. There we go. So the exact same quest to grind. This is really sad in a way, if you just consider it, that the only way I've been able to, as I always claim to be a slightly better than average gamer, the only way I've been able to get enough gold, funds, whatever this is going to be called, to do these quests is to grind. And grinding sucks. Alright, here we go, we'll take this. So, which of these now we need to do over the TV2, and then everything else needs to be in flight. Alright. Okay. So our quests now, we want the TV2 stack separator. Stack decoupler? Was it the decoupler or the separator? Now when you exit a building here, the save and all of that is stack decoupler landed on there. Thud liquid fuel Mark II radial mount parachutes, and then the Terrier liquid fuel. With the TV2 decouplers, apparently I disconnected something there. I could use this. I think I can now. So, take this off. Take this off. A decoupler here is exactly what I would need. So maybe we can finally get that rendezvous thing working. We don't need this. We are looking for, let's see, the thud here while in flight, right on the side, and the Terrier here right on the bottom, and then another TV2 stack decoupler. So to activate the stack decoupler part, we have to do that part in a stage. Okay, TV2 stack decoupler, TV2 stack decoupler. We got that part, so we can go ahead and just do it. And success. Alright. Now the next thing we want are the thud and the Terrier, and we want the speed to be high, and we want the thuds to be between 1 and 10,000 meters, and this one to be in between so we're gonna move these around a little bit. We're gonna start with these. We're going to have the radial decouplers at some point. This part and this part we can just we'll just drag this down here, and hopefully this will work. So as soon as the thuds are ready to activate, I'm going to activate it, but I want to actually just activate it a little bit. I don't want to. We're at the right height now. We just want the speed. There we go. waiting for the right height to activate the Terrier too. Come on. We activate that. Oh, that was a radial mount parachute. Oops. Well, let's go ahead and get rid of those guys. And start aiming for a polar orbit. Well, we've got a nice blue line. We haven't seen a blue line since the scenarios. And look, I can add maneuvers now. Isn't that wonderful? Let's see. So would I want all these engines on? Well, which is more efficient, do we think? I think what we'll do is we'll wait until we get into a stable orbit. There's no reason not to. Oh man, I'd be so close to here too. That's a shame. Now we can't speed up while under acceleration, which is a bit of a problem. And we're still a little bit in the atmosphere. So I'm gonna burn upward a little bit. Speed up, burn upward, try to get an apoaxis that is higher. So some time has passed, and because some time has passed, this is working. So let's see. We are getting closer. Direct ourselves towards the right way. And let's hit X. We are probably too close. So finally, we can add a maneuver. And let's figure out what we can do. If we go this way, will we get closer? Looks like we'll potentially hit an escape trajectory. If we go this way, what does that do? Nah, it's just more escape trajectory. So I think we've figured out what we want to do. Let's delete this. Let's see, actually. Make an effort here to shut down these engines. Let's see. Oh, we're almost out of fuel. Doesn't matter what we do. We're out of battery. Oh man, how did that happen? Apparently we managed to run out of battery. Can we decouple still? No. Wow. What quests did we get done? The TRT radio mount parachutes. We didn't get that done. We got the stack decoupler. We got the thuds. And then the Terrier. This is awful. Well, I've got 3 of the quests done, so I could either try again. Obviously, we need more fuel if we're going to try and get this orbit. We probably could have made it. What's the height here? We could crash. This could crash down too. But nothing's gonna get it more fuel. I say we've got some done. Let's just return to the Space Center and just leave it. It'll crash on its own. We can abandon it for whatever that was worth, but we don't need to. Ferry 2 things. Temperature scans, no. Science data from around Kerbal, I will take that. The Weasley basic jet engine, exactly what I want, actually. And then the launch stability enhancer at the launch site. I'll take that too. So we could go here and just abandon, terminate that mission. I don't see a reason to. It's time to, no, not that one, that one, to reevaluate this. Can we load the ship? No, not that ship. That's the uncrashable one? No. Let's see. This is the Weasley, tested on land. This is exactly what we want, except for one little bit of thing. Fuel. I want more fuel, and I want some rockets. I really would like some rockets, but I don't think I will. We're just gonna launch this as it is. The space plane that's not really a space plane, it's just an airplane that I believe this is a Scott Manley creation. The Scott Manley, of course, is a YouTuber who does this all day, every day, and let's see. Is there any science to be gotten on the runway? A tiny amount. Crew report. Alright. So we're landed, we're ready to go. Let's fly this thing, get that one contract done. And we are getting the contract done, but we are mostly also just flying the plane. I don't think we'll get any of the other contracts done, so that can go away. Pull back, and we are up. Pull back. You know, I don't know if the old, we can take surface samples from the ocean, by the way. There is a secret uh, old location of the old Kerbal space site. They had created, I guess, both in canon and in reality, they had created a Kerbal Space Center that was not as complicated as what we have seen. And it's on a little bit of an island. And maybe that is the island. There. Maybe not. If we can land on that, that might be a good place to get some surface samples, because that might be a very unique location. There are some unique locations. I wish it was daytime. It's not like Minecraft where you can just say time set day when you're flying around. You have to actually be able to. So is this the island, or am I just flying over the ocean now for no reason? Wait, this might be it. I think I see it. Alright. We're 2,000 meters up. Dive, dive, dive. So you can see it now. There it is. The old location. So we're gonna quick save, and I'm gonna fly pretty far out in an attempt to turn around and hit it. I mean, if I just do this, I don't want to gain anything. I want to actually pretty soon start cutting my engine too. The whole point here is to stay behind this. I don't want to accelerate towards this at all. Is that really lined up? So that's engines at 0. I think I probably need to speed up a little bit. I'm probably going too fast. At 1,000 meters. Not really lined up great. If this works, I'll be really surprised. time to quick save again. Yeah. Quick load. So, I think you'd probably do better coming in from the other side, if I was to guess. If I'm sliding down the way I am, I think I'm coming head nose first. Yeah, not fast enough. Well, we could certainly try to collect science and all that from over there. But let's start by taking a surface sample from the grasslands and then running. If we get over to this point, which, how far is this? It's really far. I know it doesn't seem like a lot when you're up there, but you're talking 20 minutes plus. Quick load. Pull back. Turn a little bit. Pull up. Hit X. No, 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 no. Nosedive, nosedive. I pushed forward. Shouldn't have done that. Wait, wait, wait. This might work. From the grasslands. EVA report. Surface sample. Store data. Surface sample from the grasslands. What? What did that say? Take a surface sample from the grasslands. That's what it said. Alright. So at least this time we crashed much closer to it. How much closer though? It seems like a doable amount here where we can just run. We're looking for something that says not grasslands. If it says not grasslands, then that means there was more science that we could have done besides the surface sample, and we probably should land the plane here at some point. But it might also be that this is still not a labeled special area, which in previous versions it hasn't been. It has just been an Easter egg type deal. But it is a pretty good place to take the plane if you just want to go to a grassland. So this is your original runway island that assumedly before the Kerbal space program was funded and began, there was an aeronautics just plane program for airplanes that was run out of this location. It's still a long way. Even if I had landed, it'd be a bit of a trek. Let's continue over here. Surface samples, still just grasslands. So you have the remains of a building that is all... Oh look, you can climb on it. That's interesting. So, a climbable building. Have they done some new edge detection too? Or maybe they spent some extra effort. Yeah. Keep running, Kerbal. Keep running. Surface samples still the same. So we get into the hangars here. I don't want to spend... Is it faster to jump? No, not with that animation of falling down and having to get back up. Kerbals need like roller skates. I wonder if they ever thought about that in astronauts. It's like, why don't we just put roller skates on them so that it can skate around and move a lot faster instead of the little hops? So I imagine somebody thought of it at some point. Still in the grasslands. So get the scale of it. Here is your hangar, just an open air hangar for assumedly just an airplane. I mean, there's no spaceship launch site. There is just a traffic control tower, which the traffic control tower in the Kerbal Space Center is kind of hidden. Over here, just another hangar. Still just getting grasslands. That proves at least enough to me that there wouldn't be any extra science. Here's a bit of an Easter egg. It is an early model of our lander pod, the thing we make spaceships out of. All burnt up. Here's the very first thing. So there's nothing here, but this is about as good of a place as anywhere to place a flag. And I'm gonna place it here, and then we're gonna name it Old KSP. Right there. So we will be able to see it on our map. So I imagine this is more of a dumping ground for the creators, where they designed something halfway and they said, well, we're not going to use that, let's just dump it here and use the assets anyways, which is cool. I recently played a series that had a museum to the game itself inside the game, which is pretty weird, but I think as a concept really should exist. Like, anytime you spend time and money on assets, unless they're just horribly awful, you should show it as something. Some people want to see that stuff. Alright, we haven't checked the surface. Still at the grasslands. Here we have the paint is chipping off of the walls. As I imagine the reason they abandoned this is like the foundation that they use for the launch pad too, for the animation. But I imagine the reason story-wise why this isn't being used anymore is that it's old and people kept flying into it. And then we have the ramp, which requires climbing stairs to get to the tower, which requires zooming in almost to the point where you're first person. Can you get first person? Nope, that's as far as you can get. But if you get too far out, you're in through the wall. They may have updated this too. I recall this being a lot more difficult to climb before. It was in earlier versions. It felt like, if I'm remembering correctly, it felt like a real challenge to get to the top of this tower. This feels like pretty simple. And if it's like the old versions, it's going to be pretty disappointing. I guess I shouldn't say that, but I don't believe there's anything at the top. This is just up and upstairs. There might be something like this at Kerbal Space Program too. Kerbal Space Center. Little plants. Oh, this is not fun. This is a good example of in-game camera control. Doing it yourself is. So here's your traffic control section. There's nothing here. We can take a surface sample. There's nothing here. So we're left with two options, and let's quick save. One would be to recover from where we are, and the other would be to jump and see if we can go. Let's see. Whee! Bam, bam. That's about the best test I could have thought of to test out whether that there is a light up there. The lights are still on. So let's quick load. As I fall through the ceiling. Now let's jump legitimately without using that. I don't think there would be a way to get any higher without maybe parachuting down. Little sonar stuff. We're going. We're gonna jump. Whee! Kerbals are invincible. So you can't die from a jump from the tower apparently, or at least I can't. And I'll reload one more time because I want to see if there's some small chance if I do recover right from inside this building if something would happen. Let's see. Recover vessel. We got 9 science. I could have done another thing actually. And no XP. And we got no money from him. See. Untitled thing from orbit. Plane 1 is here. I didn't mean to double click on it. We will recover this. And try to get some money back, since that was a pretty expensive thing. And we got some more science back and some funds. Then click on this. And old KSP. I don't want to see flags usually, so I'm going to toggle flags off. We have this debris, which can be recovered too. So, where is this? It's right here. It's not going to hit this point and start doing a air braking maneuver for quite a while. So we have 78 funds. We don't have enough to upgrade this. Definitely don't have enough to upgrade that. We don't really need to upgrade this. We really don't need to upgrade this. This might be helpful. Let's see. Action groups. This might be helpful too. But in all honesty, upgrading anything more is not necessary. At least not at the level we're at. We have 50 here, so we need another big old chunk of science. Let's see. If we click on Kerbal and just Kerbal, and then biomes, we need to get some more science. What does this say? Science report. We need to be able to hide this, I would think, if we really want to figure that out. Like, really was a crew report for nothing helpful? Maybe there was a small fraction. I don't know. 92 hidden. 91 hidden. 7 science. So we have found 100 out of 105 on Kerbal. And we got a couple on the moon. And this is really where, even though I say when we get to the moon and back, that's the end of the series, you could certainly keep playing this. There's all kinds of other planets that you could try to get around. You could try to get around the sun and all of that. But, let's look at the contracts. We don't want to position a satellite. Position a satellite. Rescue Kerbal. Rescue Kerbal. Nope. 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 It's just all going through the same thing over and over again. So I'm in this weird position where I could fly around and get to other biomes, and we could do the surface samples that way. But I don't feel like that's the right move to do. I think the right move to do is to continue. What are we trying to continue to? We need to go. I think we need to go to the moon. I think there's nothing more we can do. Uh, I think we're gonna have to start that process, or at least attempt that process. Uh, we're not gonna get enough science on this planet to do anything else. One surface sample from the moon would be an incredible amount of science if we could get it back one way or the other. We may have to go to the moon and get stuck on the moon, and if we get stuck on the moon, there's no getting us back because I'll never be able to land at the same place twice. But yeah, flying around doesn't make sense. Grinding contracts doesn't really make sense because grinding the contracts is only going to get me enough money to what? Do the next thing? We don't really need to upgrade anything right now. We've got the last bit we needed, the ability to add a maneuver. So from where we are standing, I think this is the beginning of that the final chapter here for 1.0, and we'll come back and check on it later. I think it's time to go to the moon. These contracts, the rendezvous, and all of that, uh, I would kind of like to go and see how that works. Uh, but if basically the second mandatory contract is rendezvous, two vessels, uh, what's the third one gonna be? It's gonna be rescue somebody. It's gonna be do some highly difficult thing to do. Um, so we're not gonna bother really checking on any of this stuff. I think next time we're just gonna throw everything out the window and build the best ship I can possibly build that will get me to the moon and back. But that's for next time. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can do that by clicking on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media site, there are links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.